is a difference between you and me. We both looked into the abyss. But when it looked back at us, you blinked.
Hi guys, I'm Garvey here, and this is a DC Legends video. In this video, I am going to give out my Nightmare Campaign Awards. It's an idea I came up with just to kind of like discuss it a little bit. Not going to go too in depth on it. Not going to really be a long video, although I say that a lot and I end up talking too much. But in this video, I'm going to give out the awards will be the MVP of Nightmare Campaign. For me personally, you guys may have different MVPs. And actually, one is going to be the MVP for the for my MVP, and then the MVPs for the entire campaign. So, and I'll explain what that is as I get to it. Then the next will be the Pain in the Butt Award. This will be the tune that caused me the most grief throughout Nightmare Campaign, that I hated the most. And then the next will be the most difficult node in campaign, which I'm pretty sure all of us can agree upon. In fact, if you watch any of my videos or you subscribe, you already know who was my most difficult to deal with. So there you go. So in any case, before we get started, I drop DC Legends videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Raid Shadow Legends videos every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Marvel Future Revolution videos intermittently. So please like, please subscribe, and if you don't like it, hit subscribe and hit dislike. I'm okay with that as well. So now, as we get to it, first, we'll start off with the most difficult node in campaign, which obviously was, to me, Node 10. Node 10 was if you saw the videos that I was doing, it was a stupid level of difficulty. And in fact, give me 1 second. I went at Node 10 with like just about everything I could think of. This is one of the combinations. It was Barda, Zod, Black Flash, and Lex. Now, here's one thing that was key for me, or the thing that I think I messed up the most on, is that with Black Flash, I tried to use his A3 a lot. It was causing, here's the thing, it would proc Azrael, but he wasn't the issue. The issue was actually Cassandra Cain, which brings me to, and as you see here, this is just you watching me get my tail kicked, because right now it looks like I'm in control. Right now it looks like it's not going to be a problem. And then Cassandra Cain would come through and take out 120% of my health. Next thing you know, I'm in danger. It took me, what, 2,000 to 3,000 gems to get through the first wave. Like once I got past the first wave, everything else after that was pretty much gravy. But the first wave was just this mess. If you guys tell me what you think, which node was hardest for you, but there goes my Black Flash, then there goes a whole lot of the composition. But I tried everything from Lex lead with Donna Troy, with Darkseid, with, I mean, name it. I tried Zod so I could try to get rid of Cassandra Cain faster. I tried everything you could think of. And in the end, what ended up helping me, or what ended up being the team that got me through it, and in fact, let me go ahead and show you. And so this was the team that actually got me through it. I replaced Black Flash with Wally West. Wally West and Lex was a combination that I loved using because he was the fastest in the game before Impulse came along. He would use his A2. He would give the entire team 20% turn meter up and buff, which then also gave them overheal, which also gave them turn meter manipulation, which would also purge buff. Like, it was a great combination. I would often run it with Killer Frost and Hawk Girl, and that was like my squad. There's even a video of my top PvP teams when I first started the channel, and they were my top PvP team. So like, this team was what finally got me through it. Wally West being able to give all those buffs. Donna Troy, her passive ability was really important there. And then Larfleeze, I'll go into that a little bit later. But Wally West, for me, was key in getting past this. Which then takes me to the next, which was my MVP. My MVP was 100%, without a doubt, Wally West. Now, Wally West was my MVP in the sense of he was the MVP for me in the fact that I would not have been able to get past campaign without him in that sense. Was he the MVP of the entire campaign? Not really. There was a pair that was a little bit more vital to me getting through Nightmare Campaign relatively easy and relatively painlessly. But when I got to Node 10, that roadblock, Wally West was the one who got me through it. So Real quick, as I was detailing his kit, on his A2, give 2 speed ups. There's the buff for your Lex. 20% turn meter up to all allies. That helps. And then also gain 1 awareness, so he's also protecting himself on that legendary point. This was critical in me getting through Node 10, getting everyone fast enough, speeding up everybody, giving them those buffs so they have that overheal, have that turn meter manipulation, and then I was able to take out everybody. And of course, the run where I beat them, I forget to hit record until the very end, as you just saw. But Wally West was my MVP. Now, the MVP for the campaign itself, which is kind of, I understand the difference in what I'm saying in my head, but as I'm trying to explain it, it seems kind of stupid. But Wally West, without Wally West, I would not have been able to get through campaign. But without this pair, co-MVPs, I would not have been able to get through Nightmare campaign itself as easy as I did. Now, the head of that pair in terms of the MVP, the co-MVPs, she was an MVP, I believe. I think I've already given her an MVP before, or a shout out before. It was Donna Troy. Donna Troy is a horrible taunter. She does not have a deep HP pool. She only gives herself 1 awareness. And in this current state of the game where so many tunes get out of turn hits, and Azrael floating around out there, Harley Quinn can take her out with like 1 attack. Is like 2 shots technically, but 1 attack. So she, as a taunter, sucks. But everything else in her kit makes her incredible. And mostly what helped you out in this was down here at the bottom, multiverse. So multiverse presence. At the end of each enemy's turn, if teammate has 6+ buff, purge 2 buffs, apply 20% turn meter, and reduce cooldown by one on all abilities. That's a stupidly insane, awesome passive. And because of that, that meant that Black Flash's A3, which was Chased by Death, was constantly going. It also gave him a bunch of turn meter up. But it did have one detriment, and that was to Larfleeze. Larfleeze stacks permanent intelligent ups, which makes him hit hard as hell after enemies and allies die, etc., etc. So at a certain point, as I was playing, this mechanic where she's taking 2 buffs was actually purging 2 buffs away from Larfleeze, and they were intelligence ups, making him hit not as hard. But by the end of it, he had stacked up enough intelligence ups by the last 2, 3, and 4 waves where he was smacking by that point. But it was kind of a detriment in the first wave if I wasn't able to take them out quickly enough. But in the end, that was incredible. The ability to reduce the cooldowns, to give the turn meter up, to give awareness all over the place. That coupled with Black Flash. Black Flash, especially in the last node, the last 2 nodes, all you had to do was run those 2, and they were just going to keep the enemy team locked up. As a matter of fact, here you'll see a perfect example of it. So all I need is for Donna Troy, and I did get to use her taunt because basically Black Flash using his A3 over and over and over again against tunes that aren't Azrael, who will then buff and attack, made this easy as hell, the Node 11 and Node 12. Which maybe I shouldn't say that, but I doubt any developers watch anyway. Because then they'll be like, oh, we'll teach you for the next one. But basically, I was able to keep the A3 and the A2 going, reducing their turn meter constantly, giving my team as much time as they needed, whether it was a lot or a little, to get down the enemy. So it didn't matter if Larfleeze's intelligence ups kept purging themselves off due to Donna Troy's passive, the multiverse presence. That part didn't matter because we could take our time in getting rid of them. Black Flash's A3 just kept coming up regardless. And so as you can see, the teams like in Node 11 and Node 12 never got a turn. They never got a chance to hit me. And so that was great. Larfleeze played, so that was the reason why I had to put Black Flash as the co-MVP, because without those 2 working together the way they did, I would have never been able to turn meter lock the opposing team, and they would have had a good chance of taking me out, especially since it seems like Blackfire stacks empowered strength ups like a beast. And I do want to work on her pretty soon. I've just taken so many energy tunes up to 70-11 that I think I need to like diversify my roster a little bit. But she stacked empowered strength ups like a beast, and I started to get like worried, legitimately worried that so I would keep hitting her with the A1 because I was like, on the off chance something weird happens, I don't want her to stack up a bunch of empowered strength ups, and now I'm in trouble. So Larfleeze with his A3 kept purging a lot of the buffs that were showing up on the enemy team. Awesome. And then as he's stacking intelligence ups, he was able to one shot a lot of the enemies throughout, like after the first wave. Lex, of course, the turn meter, the overheal, as per. So, like, yeah, it was incredible. But none of it would have been possible without Donna Troy and Black Flash turn meter locking them. So now we will get to the overall Pain in the Butt award. A lot of you, including one of my alliance mates, will probably say Azrael. Azrael was not my pain, does not receive my Pain in the Butt award for this Nightmare campaign. The person who receives my Pain in the Butt award is someone who was actually in a previous video that I put out, and it's one of my favorite tunes, and she drives me crazy. It's Cassandra Cain. Now, they buff her strength in Nightmare campaign to another level, or maybe I'm just missing how powerful she is at 8011. However, Cassandra Cain on this ability here. Cassandra Cain evades, and if Cassandra Cain evades attack, use Death Wish on the enemy attacker. The buff immunity didn't even matter. She was hitting so hard that if I attacked with Black Flash at all and he was always going to miss, she would be able to take him out, or at least take him down to the red. Like, it was stupid. Like, and throughout Nightmare campaign, because she was all over the place, she was just cracking skulls throughout. It made it impossible to do anything. I mean, of course, you had to figure out a way to do it, but it was just so infuriating having to deal with her. Azrael is terrifying and scary. However, there weren't too many instances in this where I saw him hiding behind a taunter. And so that then makes him a bit easier to deal with, especially when you have a Lex who can hit him with an A1 and give him buff immunity. Then and purge some of his strength ups. Then he isn't as terrifying as he can be when he gets fully ramped hiding behind Barter or something. So, like, there were moments where he was hiding behind one touch. I want to say it was Harley Quinn, and I could get past her using Lex to purge away her taunt, and then just he would ramp one time, but that's okay because then I could hit him with the next one with Larfleeze, purge those strength ups, if not take him out. So he was a pain, but not nearly the pain in the butt that Cassandra Cain was. Those are my awards. Hardest note goes to note 10 for me. In my MVP, in order to get through Nightmare campaign, was Wally West. The co-MVPs for the overall Nightmare campaign performance was Donna Troy and Black Flash, and the Pain in the Butt award goes to Cassandra Cain. So, let me know who was your Pain in the Butt, who was your MVP, who was your personal MVP, the one that got you past that roadblock, like your roadblock MVP, and then what was the hardest node for you. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, please subscribe, and I'll see you next time.